Hello everyone, Agion here with another Computers to Replay. Spawn on the north side as the Soviet player. We have Frost, the zelaza, I think. On the south side as opponent, we have Finndeed. Note this is with the not Dawn. This looks to me as Dawn. December Balance Preview patch. So this would be very interesting. You got the conscript buffs. In fact, we do see conscript plays. So I'm very excited to see how this will pan out. I played a little bit, but of course I played more 3v3s, and so I pretty much lost all my 1v1s. Because my 3v3 playstyle is much different than a 1v1, or at least effective one. You want to be cost effective in 3v3, not spam blobs everywhere. But of course, with you tend to need to deploy more squads of infantry in a 1v1 more than I'm used to. So, whoops. And but this is wait, did they fix the bulletin in the preview? Because this bulletin is bugged. It does not affect the RPG 43 ability. In fact, in the live game, it affects the Tank Hunter Barrage. And that is actually quite a big fallback, being caught in negative ground in the lines of the MG42, forcing it back.
The new Grenadier squad is ready.
Pretty standard opener from the Austria player, a very welcome opener from the Soviet player. Since conscripts got their big buff, they can reasonably be fighting. But still don't have the upgrades help them carry through, but that is relatively fine, except when versus Volksgrenadiers with the STGs. That has not yet been changed. This sniper's been popping around through a lot of buildings.
We have a fresh Grenadier
got two squads of conscripts over here. Only one squad of Grenadiers, but the MG has hopped out of the house once again. Looks like a pretty good field control by the Soviet player, and the fact that the Austria player still has to go for the MG42 to have any reasonable field control really does hurt this player's field presence. And the Soviet player did not even go for any tech structure, going for a pure conscript-based play. Looks like Grenadiers are trying to engage conscripts over there. Grenadiers, of course, will definitely beat out combat engineers. Which makes me wonder, before... I don't think I saw anything about this. Before, combat engineers had the same weapon profile as conscripts, but under their own weapon itself. So I wonder if... So I wonder if, what's it called? I wonder if they actually changed it. Sorry, I just woke up and I'm a little bit out of it. And I'm just like, ooh, pretty fire. 4 squads of conscripts are out. 3 squads of grenadiers. It'd be sort of tough to deploy the 3rd squad. Do we have any battle phase up? We do, in fact, the battle phase up going up now. We do got the bunker for the medical HQ, well, medical bunker, but it has not been researched yet. May want to research it sooner. Since conscripts now do 12 damage over 16, so they actually tend to do a lot of wounding. Ooh, got another Molotov on out, and I think he hasn't seen this one. He really hasn't seen this one. This is very problematic. He may just lose the squad entirely. He does. Ooh.
bunker has been converted to an emergency medical station.
Throwing in front of Grenadier is still not exactly the best plan, but he will trade out. Oh, was about to throw a Molotov there, but canceled it.
We are losing supplies to the enemy.
He is thinking about researching another squad of Grenadiers. He could go ahead and get Panzergrens. Panzergrens would be an excellent unit. Let's see the doctrines. You got Armor Assault, primarily for the IS-2. You got Guard Motor Coordinations, more T-34-85s, and Counterattack Tactics. Counterattack, I believe, did in fact get nerfed, or will be getting nerfed. One of the two. In fact, that it gave additional plus 0.5 armor to all the infantry units for the duration, which can be a bit problematic, especially when stocked shock troops, where it applies it through multiplication. So they'll gain, their total armor will be up to 2.25, which is a huge amount. You got the Pioneer Flamer here. It looks like he's going to be eyeing to burn this building. Nope, he will not burn the building if he started targeting the combat engineers.
Our territory is falling into enemy hands.
Conscripts are moving forward, and most likely they will in fact win that engagement. We do have the medical bunker up, so he will sustain less bleed. Do we have medics over here? Yes, we do. They should win out at this long range. They have a bit of health damage upon them, so maybe not. It looks like, oh, we do got the LMG now coming on now, which will really put our firepower into the favor of conscripts. Not conscripts, Grenadiers. What am I saying? He was trying to go for Molotov, he did, but he got suppressed at the right time. Pioneers are going moving for some very good close range damage, but the suppression may wear off, allowing him to get some shots off, but he will get burned alive for the time being.
Supply sector under attack.
You in fact have shock troops coming on out, which means counterattack tactics actually has been selected. So maybe saving up fuel for the KV-1. KV-1 is an excellent tank destroyer tank. It will outclass the Panzer IV, period. These Grenadiers are going to get flanked by the shock troops. And now we do in fact see some Panzer Grenadiers out. Excellent mid-range squads. This is probably the most powerful squad out on the field at the moment. I would say it will boast a bit more for... Oh, he lost a squad of conscripts. Whoops. But I would say he's a bit more stronger than shock troops due to the fact that he has more mid-range damage. While I believe shock troops will still win out in a close-range engagement. And that mid-range firepower really allows access to do more damage to the conscripts. Rule and sexy a frag, but the frag will only get one model. Will hop out, and does manage to hop back in the building in time. But with only one rifle firing, it will be hard in order to defeat the shock troops. In fact, actually no, the second one firing here because he's wrapped around the corner. If he's more in the front of the church, then that wouldn't be a problem. At least for him. Lightning War has been researched. Ju-7 no longer deals deflection crits. So no, it no longer just stuns, damages everything. You got engineers laying down some flare mines, trying to bleed his opponent. I would actually rather see the flare mine. It's just much more cost effective.
Enemy forces capturing supply sector. Fresh conscripts have arrived.
222 is now out. There is no AT asset. We may see a force into a tier 3 base play. That's probably the primary objective of the 222. He has researched tier 2. Oh, but immediately found that landmine. In fact, there's also a tiller mine there as well. Oh, I want to see the Veteran 2 Molotov throw, because now it gets a faster throw time for its Veteran 2 ability. Double cap in favor of the austere player. The VPs have not gone down all much this game. We got 4-3-5 and 4-4-6. We got this mortar team pitching in some barrages. And there is another landmine there that the 222 could go ahead and sweep. Though we do got the Panzer Grenadiers upon retreat, but it wasn't in optimal positioning, and he wasn't constantly firing. Could have got the squad wipe, really. Especially if they would chase after it. Oh! No doubt he got out in time. Shock troops will be loading up and perhaps be unloading forward.
A squad of infantry has been killed. Death before retreat.
Oh. That, Oh, combat engineers did in fact escape out. Not sure what died, probably to that mortar hit. We heard a mortar hit and then all of a sudden, squad of infantry has been killed. Shock troops are trying to engage at 2-2. At closer range, of course, we'll get the higher rate of fire. This will roll a miss into that Opal bullet. Conscripts will oorah forward. Now let's see that new Molotov in action. Nope, we don't.
The enemy is encroaching on our territory.
I hear G43s have been coming down across the line. Now there will be excellent mid to close range damage with the Grenadier squads over the long range damage. Engineers trying to capture the point, but finds the 2-2. We do have enough munitions for Mother Russia. We do got this is just now trying to be lining up, trying to get hit onto the 2-2, but we literally know that going down that little fence really did ruin the targeting. This man skirt around thanks to the extra speed mobility of this road and get back going for a base dive, but there is conscripts here for a snare. Looks like a Battle Phase 2 has been researched for the austere player. Maybe he will be making eye for the Tier 3 tech. The teching costs have changed, so Tier 3 does cost less while Tier 2 does remain the same at 290. And then the upgrade structures like cheap 15, the Tier 4 I think it's 50, 45, something like that. That was a pretty good mortar hit. Look how much damage on the squad. Shooting it back will prevent a huge amount of manpower bleed. Looks like a Soviet mortar has come on out as well. Now that was a fast Molotov throw. I think just throws it. No wind-up time. Just throw. The Grenadiers eyeing for a bundle grenade, but will miss. The mortar team did a preemptive trick before the grenade came out. Very good maneuvering. Ooh, that squad's very low in health. The Panzer Grenadiers are trying to get the squad wipe. He just needs a couple bullets into it, but the rotation was bad. He was trying to do a 360 no scope, and we'll in fact get the squad wipe with the last member, and we'll fall back. That is, now you will have to replace the combat engineer. In fact, we do in fact see a KV-1 coming on out. Hopefully we'll see a Stug or alternative, but even then, KV-1s are very well armored.
Our opponents are seizing a
If you remember the doctrine saw the shock troops, he should know his counterattack. He perhaps should have actually invested into tier 4 and then get the Panthers to help brawl against the KV-1s, because KV-1s can't really penetrate the Panther armor. His armor penetration is not great, but it's reasonable versus fighter stuff such as the... Actually really good versus like CoH2 Grand Panzer Force, and ooh, very good crush. He crushes his own sandbags, but he killed off 3 of the models. But it doesn't come through, but very good hit from the KV-1. The KV-1 still has the same, it's actually a better AoE effect than the T-34-76. The 2 getting penetrating hits? What? That's a bit interesting. Looks like MG team will be forced back. Counterattack for Mother Russia has been activated, and he will grab the MG for his own. Panzer IV is now on out, but can't really brawl versus the AV-1. Mortar team will be captured at the center point. I think all the conscripts are out and about. Oh, that circle rotation's not exactly good, and it looks like double miss. And it looks like the Panzer IV is getting some very good penetration, but on the lucky side, very lucky I would say. Because this rolled an unlucky miss, as well as the KV-1. Other mine still right here, so can prove problematic if we're trying to go in for a flank. Second combat engineers coming out for the repairs. That is a very necessary chain, or very add. And now, not to mention the repair teams for what's it called? Non-Soviets, non-Austere, means that they will have the same repair rates. Very slow. Granted, US still has access to their own repair crews, and I'll just give them a free repair team for every single vehicle they have. They won't really see much of that, but when trying to repair up the Pershing, as well as the Priest, as well, and the Calliope. We'll see an AT grenade. These conscripts will get body blocked briefly, forced to run around, and I think he will get with the squad wipe. That squad will just go ahead and run back and forth thanks to the vehicle pathing being unique, blocking off entirely instead of trying to crush. We'll wipe out that squad from that. We've got a flare coming on out from the mortar barrage. I believe they did fix a bug for it, so it actually does fire. He has actually canceled that second. No, wait, that was a squad of conscripts. He has canceled the combat engineers. Tried to think about rebuilding it, but he's approached saving up enough manpower for another KV-1. That will be a heavy amount of armor.
The enemy is taking our territory.
Or it could be saving up for a B4, but I doubt that. It looks like you got the shock troops getting ripped apart from open ground thanks to the Panzer IV. We will in fact see a Stug getting more mobile AT. A single Panzer IV will have extreme trouble versus 2 KV-2s. No, cancels the Stug. Is enough now to get another KV-1.
support standing by for orders.
It looks like we do got close air support coming on in. Now, these KV-1s can resist it, especially in the frontal armor now, and not get all the deflection crits, so we'll cripple them entirely. So it will pitch in damage, but not of all those crits, which was going to be the primary threat for the KV-1s. KV-1s, along with resist, pushing back this Panzer IV. He has not called in that other one, so he maybe is trying to invest into a KV-4. No Faust in the area. We'll get a penetrating hit there, but we'll get destroyed. We do got the Ju-87s now coming on in. Oh, that's quite a bit of friendly fire damage on the Pioneers. We will need to fall that back. Of course, they do all have suppression on those weapons. People don't realize it, but they do. And so it suppresses own infantry. These Ju-87s going for another strafe. 222 is spotting for him. If he body blocks, yes, we do in fact have a Ju-87 going for a strafe. He tried to go in for the attack, but the engine is snared. And he will in fact get it out thanks to the spotting of the 222. That's actually a very well play. The KV-1 can be called on in, and he doesn't realize it, but his opponent's far from munitions from calling in for another one. It'll take another 3 minutes, so that's actually not that far. Oh, I hear a tech up. He's decided not to go for a Stug and going for a tech up to Battle Phase 3. And that the squad will be forced back. These guys are very accurate at Veteran C3. Look at that. Granted, they're not shooting back. Apparently lost a squad of some sort. I don't see what is. It wasn't a weapon team, so it must have lost a squad entirely. Wasn't sure what it was. Oh, the MG team, I believe. Nope, he already lost that, so I can't really say.
Enemy forces are securing our territory. We are losing a sector.
Do have where is that captured MG-42? It looks just went back home to be replenished. His entire crew of shock troops, so getting up nice and close to Panzer Grenadiers is not a good idea. Overall, this game's still pretty even. We still got a KV-1. We're almost approaching fuel for a KV, not for KV-2, for a Panther.
The enemy is taking our territory.
Ooh, that Grenadier squad has sustained some good hits. And it looks like we still see a rifle grenade hitting those conscripts. And they're trying to crawl forward, but one model does, in fact, still get a pin. He could have let that model die, and then he let the recover, but that would still take quite a bit of time and very risky idea. Rock troops try and push forward, skirting around the edges. You in fact see the Panther now coming on out. Most people spend whatever remaining munitions on a pinto mount to help improve the anti-infantry damage passively.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Shock troops running away from Pioneers. And it's the Veteran C3 squad, so he's very accurate, can be reasonable at mid-range. Oh, about that mortar hit. Really did do quite a bit of damage, didn't it? This Teller mine has not been swept. It may get... Nope, will not get hit this time around. Do in fact see a B4 super heavy howitzer coming on out. The 203mm howitzer. How far close is it to the front line? It's on the farther backside, so we will not see any vehicle sniping with it, because of course it does have the Veteran 1 ability for direct fire, as well as it just being much more accurate the closer it gets. And he knows his opponent's doctrine is a lightning war, so he doesn't have to worry about any off map, so it wouldn't be a half bad idea. Actually, something I just realized. Instead of getting a Panther, he probably could have saved up that fuel for a Tiger tank.
The enemy still has 300 points.
These buildings have seen better days. They'll probably be about ready to be destroyed.
We are losing a sector.
We'll roll a miss. It was actually took off prioritized fire, so it was actually hitting the MG42 team. Oh, but this building's almost upon collapse. I don't think he realizes it, and losing that would be quite bad. That's Veteran 3 squad. Oh, that's one more hit and then guaranteed destruction. That is a very big problem. KV-1's going to come in and destroy the building. Or that mortar. That was a bit of an oversight. We got the Panther moving forward. Chase drone hit the rear armor of the KV-1. We got these units pushing with the conscripts, no problem. I believe that was actually a force fire through the ground. That was in fact a force fire through the ground. We'll now go ahead and start chasing. This is now repositioning, but the Panther's frontal armor is quite good. Just one shot away from that. The KV-1, the B4, the B4. Nope, it's not in the proper angle and takes forever to reposition. There goes the KV-1. What was he looking at? He just straight up just lost the thing. I'm not so sure. That was a pretty big loss, and he really didn't do much to save it. CoH troops will be throwing out a frag. No, throwing out a smoke. Ooh, B4 has made impact. Right here, it made impact. CoH troops are playing whack-a-mole. Those Grenadiers will be forced to fall back. Tries to retarget them in time, but it will not kill them off. Flamer does, of course, have armor penetration of 2.5, allowing to penetrate the armor of the shock troops, no problem. Ooh, Panzer Grenadiers providing excellent work. That was actually pretty close. He almost got a kill on his own mine.
The enemy is taking our territory.
Capture MG42 is still standing guard. Looks like we do got this MG42 just been built.
The sector has been cut off.
So the Panther will just decide to head back home to get repairs. It takes a very long time to repair it up with Pioneers, but now other factions will have the same repair rates. So, well, I'd say that while, what's it called? CoH2 still has 2 instead of 3 repair rates, but with their squads being more expensive, and that rolled a miss.
Enemy forces are neutralizing a sector.
Do in fact have a Pack 40, has excellent arm penetration. Yeah, I tested out the mortars. I don't know why, but I think it's because the force is no longer standing still. That's why the CoH2 mortar doesn't look like, doesn't feel like it's as strong. Unless they change it, I don't really read that note.
Forces are securing our territory.
But he does, of course, have Veteran 3 allowing for increased barrage range. Oh, he's saying he's doing quite well. I just always remember from the mortars can be quite strong in 3v3s. Of course, I play 3v3s, not exactly 1v1s. Ooh.
Has destroyed an anti-tank gun.
I think he was actually aiming for the
To steal our sector.
MG team, but he hit the pack team instead, which is fine. He wipes out his squad and now allows his KV-1s to move forward with little fear. Though it's not fully repaired. And now these shock troops will probably start ripping apart these grenadiers. They do have a bit of light cover. Here comes a frag, and he's not paying attention, and there goes that squad.
What has been killed?
B4, let's see. That was, of course, its first 4 kills. In fact, he did destroy the AT gun entirely with the KV-1. Very nice.
The new men have arrived. Mortar has us sighted.
Not a huge energetic game, just a very tactical, skilled, and tactical. In fact, we see a Sturmpanzer Brummbär coming on out. That is actually a very good option at this point. He knows his opponents went for B4, so his next KV-1 will be very delayed, and the Brummbär can reasonably fight them. Due to their slower mobility, they can't really dodge the shots. And plus, his opponent has a large infantry force.
We have secured the area.
Thought I heard mines being laid down. Yes, we do in fact have a telemine along the flank. Apparently this one was not good enough. It really didn't do all too much. And you do got an Su-76. A tank, medium to light tank destroyer to help aid the KV-1s. KV-1s can go ahead and spot and be a meat shield. The Su-76 can go ahead and start pitching away at long range. It's not the most effective one, but it's actually quite cost effective actually. Variable to a Stug, but a Stug that can only take one less shot. Ooh, this combat engineer has received quite a bit of fire, but will not get wiped off. E4, he probably is going to be lining up a shot onto the Panther. That would be ideal. Trying to hit it directly. Ooh, but trying to hit the Brummbär and rolls a large miss. B4 is one of the few howitzers I would say is one that you want to build at closer range. C-76 hitting the Brummbär, and the Panther's going to try rushing on forward. It does have access to Blitz. And look, bounce, bounce, bounce. The Panther can be quite strong. People will complain that, oh, it's receiving a Veteran C2 nerf. Oh, it really sort of does need it. Because look how many bounces. Granted, these are not exactly the highest arm penetrating units. These are the alternatives. Eventually one will just make that much worse.
Pioneers reporting objective captured.
We'll need to get some repairs for these units. The Panther and Brummbär only needs something to buffer out the dents. In fact, I thought I heard the... Yeah, we got the Panther now moving on forward, which does have access to Blitz. We'll get a penetrating hit there, just one penetrating shot until death. This will get a penetrating hit, but won't be able to save. Sim6 is firing and rolls a bounce. G43 is now out on the Panzer Grenadiers. Oh! Destroys the mine with the mortar team. That's actually quite nice. Though I think he actually claimed the 2 of the models itself. Whoops. Maybe not nice. This is a fresh Grenadier with LMGs. These shock troops here will in fact throw a frag. Actually throws out smoke. He's been making use of smoke first and frag. It's interesting. I like it. Something different. The smoke will continuously deny the structure, and he knows his opponent will back out of it reasonably. So the frag wouldn't do all too much, and the smoke will just deny the structure entirely for a set amount of time because it won't be able to fire out. These conscripts are very low in health. He needs to fall back after the next mortar hit. Now he can retreat back safely. Before running in, so right here, gets a direct hit onto the mortar team. You in fact have a bunker right here, which I'm sort of surprised you can see through the orchard. These things can be quite annoying to fight in. This area, just I would say, if I can switch the orchards to perhaps trees rather than orchard trees, apple trees instead of these grapevine arbors, that would be quite nice. In fact, got a kill in SU-76 thanks to the AT gun as well as the Panther, as well as the death of that conscript squad. That is a large number of losses for the Soviet player. KV-1 now has the Veteran C1 ability. It is actually well in range. KV-1's receiving rear armor hits. If you will just keep it right there, cooldown's almost done. We will in fact see a direct fire barrage. We'll use direct fire. Fires and hits pretty much mostly his own unit. But we'll in fact get a nice penetrating hit there with kill made from this. There goes the Panther. Brumbar can go forward and destroy these items, however, there's nothing to prevent it. The KV-1 cannot fight the Brumbar. It has too little health. Brumbar firing a close range shot. Oh, he got circled around. But the Brumbar does angle it properly. Now you can just rotate into it. But no, he's rotating to hit the Zis. Main gun destroyed, and there goes the Brumbar. In fact, it was abandoned. Can we get abandoned vehicles removed from the game? I would really want to see that. May try to capture up and limp it back home. There's nothing to stop that. In fact, that is actually a good option. Pick it up and limp it home. It's one of the few times that I would say that's a very good idea. That direct fire hit, we do got Veteran C2. He's trying to hit it with the pack. He will throw out that Molotov to prevent it. Rolls 2 misses. And loses the pack in result. He was going to lose the pack no matter what. He just didn't get the killing off the Brumbar. Pioneers spotted the wreck, still not secured up. And he's actually going to... Ooh, very good hit there. He actually grabbed the Brumbar and now has the pintle mount firing. Nothing in the area can penetrate. The Pioneers could try laying down a Teller mine, but that would be suicidal.
Our territory is falling into enemy hands.
Now it will try to start limping back home. Does have 2 combat engineers, so he does have a reasonable amount of repairs. We got a 3rd Pioneer squad coming on out for whatever reason. Why does he need a 3rd Pioneer squad? He has 2. That's plenty of repairs. He needs Grenadiers. Panzer Grenadiers actually will probably be better. Actually, we'll cancel and get an MG42. That's another good option. Panther now rolling on forward. Neither of these units have been fully repaired. Oh, but the KV-1 gets a direct hit. And the KV-1 gets a penetrating hit, killing it off. Is that a direct fire? I don't think he's in direct fire range. The shared cooldown. Actually, it is direct fire range. Panzerfaust coming forward. Will to kill off the... Oh no, but it bounced! It bounced! And the pack does finally kill off the Brumbar. Panzerfaust bounced on the frontal arm of the Brumbar, which means it does half damage. If it was full damage, it would have killed it off, no problem. That garrison's way too little health. If he would have jumped, if he jumps in there, that would be suicide. A Panzerfaust. I would just straight up use a Panzerfaust to destroy the building. Your shock troops. Being lethal fire. It looks like he stormed the MG team, but there is the Veteran C3 Panzer Grenadier with G43s. That is an excellent mid-range firepower squad. But oh, even though I wired off, he didn't need to. Still could able to use the heavy cover. It's problematic. Panzer Grenadiers are going to be going in, perhaps for a bundle grenade, or just trying to get flanking hits onto it. Pioneers moving forward. The Flamer is at Veteran C3. May in fact lose that squad. The Panzer Grenadier is an excellent chase down your opponent and throw them off, especially with the G43s, because I think they have higher movement accuracy. KV-1 fully repaired. Second KV-1 now out. This is a heavy amount of armor for the Soviet player, and there's only one AT gun. Oh, but he may lose this Grenadiers conscript squad. MG in the LMG in the building being very effective. And Veteran C3 Howitzer. He's going for straight into the base barrage. It has fired. Where is it going to land? He's going to repair up the AT gun, which is very problematic. If he repairs up the AT gun, it means they're more vulnerable. Where did the shot go? I don't know where that shot went. It may have actually just hit a squad. Tried to hit this MG team, I think. Whoops. The MG will be trying to secure the point, but he has lost a huge amount of assets. He's going to be trying to get out Stug. That indirect fire really covered his retreat and just straight up baited his opponent. Do in fact have Stug close air support. Oh, but you got a mass shot there, but it was a large miss. Will in fact penetrate and destroy the KV-1. This one will skirt around the edges, so it doesn't have to worry about it. The Pack 40 is engaging, does get a penetrating hit. The Stug is now out in the field. Will get a penetrating hit as well as the Pack 40. Pack 40 is now Veteran C1, so it has access to target weak points. Ooh, this squad won't be able to capture up that point. We've got this MG42 team, as well as the KV-1 pitching some additional damage. We've got the ZIS protecting the retreat. This roll a miss, however. You got the pintle mount coming on out, which will help softly hit the units in front of it. It is not a full pintle mount, it is a hull mounted. And you can only fire. Oh, those Grenadiers! And these shock troop models could go ahead and wipe it off. Yes. Well, the MG retargeted to it as well. That Panzer Grenadier squad is a huge problem for him because he doesn't really have. It's in an Austria versus Soviet matchup when there's no guards. Yes, it is actually a monster to deal with. Stug managed to get a good hit there. We'll throw out smoke, preventing him from getting fully pinned down. Once he recovers, he could try doing a soft retreat. KV-1 try to hit, not KV-1. The B4 try to hit the MG42, but rolls a miss. That thing is prone to missing a lot. It's those direct hits, especially on vehicles, when you have to really be worried about. Another squad of Panzer Grenadiers coming on out. He could upgrade it to MG42s. There's a smoke out. There is a smoke grenade out. I did not see it, however. Did you all? Ooh. negative ground, they will get ripped apart by Veteran C3 Shock Troop, and that is a massive loss. We got another squad of Panzergrens. But I think the Panzergrens may be able to brawl out the squad because the squad has sustained a lot of damage. He's going to throw in the... Oh! I think... yeah, GG. I think that just is... oh... The B4 can be a bit unfair to fight against, but is a RNG machine. You either get lucky or not, and sink air. Oh well, that was definitely the end of the replay. I don't think he forced the sink air. That just may just be the mod ending it like that. But either way, this is Agion saying thank you for watching and signing off.